Today we're going to check out the highway bus world in Taiwan. Offering passengers and travelers another way to get from A to B, these buses provide ample space and a comfortable ride. But with Taiwan's high-speed rail system whisking passengers at a fraction of the time, do these buses hold any value? Come along and let's find out. Good afternoon and welcome back to another video and welcome to Taipei. This afternoon we're going to check out the highway bus service from Taipei down to Kaohsiung. Now if I did it right, which it might be 50-50 at this point, I booked a ticket on a premium bus with 14 or 16 seats, but I really don't know. All I know is I booked with a company Ho-Hshin or Ho-Hshin or something like that, but information while researching this episode was kind of hit or miss on the internet. The bus is set to depart at 3:45, so come along as we go from A to B, and let's enjoy a trip down to Kaohsiung and learn more about this company. If there's one thing I find enjoyable when traveling in Asia, is that little feeling of never being 100% confident that I did everything right. Book the right ticket, beat the right stop at the right time, in hopes of ending up at my intended destination. And perhaps this was no truer today, but I guess that bit of uncertainty is that spark of adventureness that many travelers enjoy. What I did know is that the starting point was Taiwan's bus station, and it's the starting point for today's journey. The bus station, located across the street from Taipei Main Station, has 4 floors servicing a number of bus lines. The first floor has the ticket counters, self-serve machines, restaurants, and shops. I actually skipped this floor initially since I came up from the underground walkway, which connects the bus terminal to the train station, and went directly up to the bus stops. Floors 3 and 4 is where the buses depart, and it appears to be a mostly utilitarian space. Think central seating surrounded by bus stops, with the odd vending machine humming in the background. The bus stops are color-coded, so as a first-timer it was pretty easy to navigate. Here's U-Bus, another highway bus company which I came across when researching this trip, which does similar routes, notable by their green buses. Since I missed the first floor entirely when I first arrived at the train station, I made my way up from the underground walkway. I was able to purchase my ticket at the stand off to the right over there, no problem. I ended up purchasing a ticket for the 3:45 bus, and doors opened about 5 minutes before we left. We'll be seated in seat 11 on the left side of the bus for today's trip. The bus left promptly, and interestingly enough, the station connects directly with the highway with a small on-ramp. Talk about good planning. Sitting on the left side of the bus, we also get a nice view of Taipei Main Station's iconic building, the 3rd station building constructed in the 80s. And as we get underway, I'll take a moment to welcome new viewers to the channel and invite you to subscribe for continued travel and aviation-related content, where you can compare this trip with Korea's premium highway bus service, which we enjoyed last year. Our route would take us on Highway 1 to cover the 350 kilometers or so to reach Kaohsiung, with a travel time of about 4 hours. The bus interior is gray and is laid out in a spacious 1-1 configuration. This seating layout is used for all buses with 14 to 18 seats. The only middle seat you'll find is at the rear of the bus in the last row. On the other side of the bus, seat 1 provides the only front row view, on the left side. And I generally prefer seats towards the rear of the cabins, though I'm sure seat 1 would be Ariel's choice. He's an awesome content creator and friend who does an excellent job, much better than myself, at showing many bus routes from around the world, and his channel is definitely a place to check out. The black seats are quite plush and is housed in their own pod. And I like this design as you're not inconvenienced if the front passenger reclines their seat. The seat also has a very comfortable adjustable headrest with the company branded anti-macassar. You'll also find a handful of features, and luckily a guide is provided for users. In the one armrest, there's a place to hold your phone and small belongings, and it's also a lid for a small storage area. The seat's reclining features are electronically operated. The seat doesn't go lie flat, but offers a healthy recline. And there's also a drink holder, USB-A and C charging port, and the stand for the entertainment system. Seat back is simple. It has a small table that pulls out, and a net pocket which has a garbage bag and that seat guide I showed earlier, and below is a little footrest which you can fold out yourself. There isn't too much space for baggage on board, and anything larger than a backpack is probably best stowed in the trunk below. You know, it's always nice to find an entertainment system on a bus. This one has a onboard library and live TV. I didn't find any content in English, so bringing your own is a good way to pass the time. You know, I kind of enjoy watching live TV wherever I travel, even though I don't understand it. And I think I landed on some prime time game show later on in the evening. But I don't know, it's kind of interesting just to see what's on TV around the world. The system also has a map and outlines the route. And I thought this was interesting. The headrest has speakers. It wasn't too loud even if I turned up the volume, but I never came across this before. Have you? There is also Wi-Fi available, and it worked well over the trip, and provides another avenue for entertainment if primetime game shows is not your thing. There is a bathroom on the bus. I didn't know, but you have to turn on the light, and presumably the switch is right by the fire extinguisher, which I completely missed on the way down, so it's going to be dark in here. Hey, at least there's a window. Now my reading is a bit rusty, but I don't think that's a picture of a cocktail with a lime garnish and mini umbrella. The ceiling is almost ridiculously low. I'm not terribly tall, maybe 170, what's that, 5'6", 5'7"? But it was tight in here, as you can see, and I'd be inclined to use the station washroom before boarding the bus. Surprisingly, there is no extended rest stop on this route. We stopped once quickly at Ho-Hshin's bus station in Tainan City at 7:40 to drop off passengers before continuing the last little bit, but nothing more than that. When it comes to purchasing a ticket, it was fairly easy to do at the counter in person. I found it does help to have some prior research done, so one has some idea of the situation. Getting information for this company online I found was difficult at times. Sometimes the website worked, sometimes it didn't. Using a VPN set to Taiwan seemed to help. Ho-Hshin has a number of bus seating types, which you can see on the screen, and actually they had this printed out on the desk when I bought the ticket, which made conveying what I wanted a lot easier. You are unable to buy or reserve a ticket on the website unless you have a Taiwan phone number, I believe, but it gives you a lot of information if you know where to look. The site provides their schedule for different routes in PDF. This is the Taipei to Kaohsiung route, Monday through Sunday schedule, and as you can see, the bus leaves Taipei fairly frequently, and it's pretty much a 24/7 operation. Now the timetable here doesn't tell you which bus layout is used for each departure, but you can narrow it down by performing a query on the website for a particular day, and it will show you what type of bus is used based on departure time. I bought my ticket the day of, and there were still many seats available. But of course you're going to want to stay frosty for public holidays and peak travel times, and perhaps purchasing a few days before, or at least the night before, if you can, would be best. With the comfortable seat, space, entertainment system, and frequent service, I'd say these buses provide value for the customers. With this late afternoon, evening trip, yeah, we got caught in traffic a few times, which added time, but that could be expected. The bus also runs at all hours of the day, whereas the high-speed rail stops around midnight. This route is similar in distance from Seoul to Busan, which we did last year, and the only thing I would have preferred is maybe a 10-15 minute stop somewhere just to get off the bus for a few moments. The bus also has the monetary advantage over the high-speed rail, being about half the price. The cost of this one-way trip came out to 760 new Taiwan dollars, which is about $35. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on Taiwan's premium highway bus service, and I'll catch you in the next episode.